What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to another daily hack. And today's episode, Ron, we gotta get real for a minute.
Yep. It's Monday.
It's Monday, gotta get real, everyone. And so, a couple directions we wanted to take this conversation today is one, putting it out there with a question of what do you do to start your week, right? Like if your week is Monday through Friday, or is it Sunday? Like whenever your first day is of the week after hopefully you've gotten a weekend or a day or two off, what is the task? What do you do to make sure that you will have a successful week? And Ron, I'm going to give you that question.
How do I start my week?
How do you start your week?
Well, we'll just stay with business, so it's not all the pre stuff, but I like to look at what is due and where we're at with deliverables for clients. Right. So I have a to-do list, if you will, and I check that. I try to end my day with checking over my checklist and starting my day with checking a checklist. Even though sometimes it doesn't change, it just gets my mind right.
Yeah, I think from the task-oriented checklist, as you're talking about, right?
Mhm.
I feel like Mondays are our day where we both kind of, and for me, I look at the week as a whole, right? Like it's not, I don't want to go do a checklist every single day. It's more of what deliverables need to occur throughout the week.
Right.
Where are we at on those? And
Right.
from a podcasting perspective, a lot of things repeat, right? Like it's the 6 shows or 7 shows that we have on Wednesday to publish. They happen every Wednesday.
Right. It doesn't change.
Things need to be done today,
Right.
right? And so, yeah, I kind of look through and be like, okay, obviously we have our normal stuff, but what else? What are the big rocks? What are the other conversations? The that kind of stuff. And that's how I feel like I can set myself up for a better week is knowing what do I have on Friday at the start of the week. And then something else that you and I do is our team meetings.
Yep. Yeah, I love our team meetings. It gets everybody on the same page, and helps everyone know here's the expectation, here's the guardrails. And we've talked about this. Well, maybe we've never talked about this on podcast. You and I have talked about this multiple times. If you don't set an expectation for somebody and you don't give them the guardrails, you're just telling them what to do all the time. And we like to let them have some kind of free thoughts in that. So there's guardrails. Here's the end line. I don't really care how you get to the end line as long as you stay within these guardrails.
Right. And so start with a team meeting. And that's, I mean, you and I meet every Monday, 8 a.m., 30 minutes, just you and I.
Yep.
And then we meet with the team after that. And we've got a couple other meetings on Mondays that are fine, but specifically one of the most productive things I think we do is our first hour on Monday. Half hour with just us, half hour with our team.
Yep.
And I think that's how you set up a good week, right? Like,
Yep.
And then just to add to your point of you want the team to know the finish line, and then you don't want to babysit them to actually go and achieve the finish line. Right. But every time something isn't achieved, right? Like we look in the mirror and be like, okay, what did we teach? How did we teach it? Where was there a communication gap on our end, right? And so again, we're like our goal is to make sure that we're communicating the best possible way so that everyone on the team has the highest success rate.
Right, exactly. And as the leader, quote unquote, or the person that's like in that role, you have to always look at yourself to make sure you're communicating effectively. We ran into one situation today that communication came up that we were not getting any communication back from this team player. And we're like, hey, we kind of need this. Like you can't just go radio silent on this. If you need help, raise your hand. Like you're not going to get in trouble for asking questions.
Yeah. And that's the hardest part, right? Like as, for anybody that has a new team member, right? Like they don't know us or they don't know you as the leader.
Right.
And so they don't know what questions they're allowed to ask until they have asked a few questions. Right.
So, and the other thing that we have to, like, I'm very aware clearly because of feedback that through text message, I can come across very short and street, right? But it's called text messaging for a reason. Like, don't read into that. It's a text message.
Yeah. Yeah. So, another piece that we haven't implemented yet, but we just talked about today, not with the team, but just on our own meeting is a daily huddle, right?
Yep.
And so 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, like would that really benefit everyone? Would we have the bandwidth to do it? Like I'm trying to figure out and just talk about this live on Facebook and YouTube and to anybody listening in the podcast land, right? We're having this candid conversation about a daily huddle and trying to figure out if it's right for us.
We've been in a company where we had a daily huddle and we hated it. Yes. We absolutely hated it. Let's just talk about it. Let's just put it out there. Hated it. However, I understand why it was being done. I didn't like how closed things were, where if you were late, you got locked out. I thought that was lame, right? I thought that was a complete load of horse patutu. So if you have those, don't be a jerk to people. But the reason you have the daily huddle is to make sure everyone understands where everybody fits in the puzzle piece of the company and how each puzzle piece is connected to each other. And if you're waiting on X to get done, Y and Z will never get finished because you're waiting on X. Yep. But if you never got an R to get to X, you know where the hangups are. Plus, as someone that's giving away some of this stuff, you're able to see how people think and problem solve throughout those pieces.
Right. Right. And so from a daily huddle perspective, do we have the entire team on it? Or do we meet, individually with our main VA and it's just a one-on-one? Or all these options, all these scenarios. Although we didn't like the daily huddle in that in our past, you and I don't have a set daily huddle, but you and I talk every single day.
Yeah. You and I have no problems communicating because we're on the Zoom 24/7, right? Yeah, I get that. But for the team, I almost feel, and man, I don't even know, because part of me feels everyone needs to be on it.
Yeah.
But I also, I know how I felt on the other end of it. I just haven't decided. I don't know. It's however, I know they won't feel the same because we will not treat it the same as this other person did. Right.
But will they benefit from it? And that's where, will the productivity on the team increase if we have something like that? Will we stay more in tune and aligned if we have something like that? And will things move forward, right? Like it's all thinking, and there's a lot of positives to doing it, but then
think about the thing that our last thing we just implemented before we left our last company. There was a daily check-in, through a Google form that I made for people.
Correct.
Right. And then there was another check-in that they did it 3 times a day. So we had constant communication in a different way where people could do it within their day.
Right. But everybody, for the most part, had similar hours in regards to the operating hours.
But that's where maybe a Google type form check-in daily, here's where we're at, that goes to the entire team, might be more beneficial than a daily huddle. Because here's the other deal. We have some people across the world, right? Yep. So if we have a daily huddle for us, it's morning time. For them, they're about to go to bed.
Right. Or if we had a daily huddle that started at 5 p.m. our time.
Yeah, it's the end of our night. We're making sure everybody, and that might be the way to do it.
That might be the way to do it.
Because then
decisions.
It's a daily huddle for them, which is why we do the daily huddle. It's not for us.
Right.
So I like that.
All right.
An evening huddle.
The evening huddle. The late afternoon huddle. I don't know. We'll figure out. Like
never
4
know.
p.m. 4 p.m. probably would be a better time than at 5 p.m. But
Yes.
anyway, all right, everyone. How do you start your week? What are you doing to make things go seamless? What are you doing to help your team or your own productivity and in regards to your planning, right? And there's so much more what we can talk about. But our daily hacks, we keep them at 10 minutes, and we are already over that time. So have a good day.
See you later, guys.